Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, is well known for annually hosting the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, the largest performing arts festival in the world. The city has captivating buildings like the Edinburgh Castle and the historic streets of the Royal Mile. A very beautiful city, but it has its own social issues and challenges to overcome. In 2010 and 11, 170,000 children and 440,000 adults were living in relative poverty. According to a study commissioned by the BBC, Edinburgh is the loneliest place to live in the UK. The latest figures show that 33.1% of people in an area were less likely to feel involved in their local community or to feel part of it. Edinburgh's loneliness figure has risen by 13% since 1971, overtaking London and coming top of all cities in the UK. The Firebrand Movement project team set out to investigate several issues that people are going through within their communities. Our first meeting was with the leader of Destiny Angels Edinburgh to find out what sort of work they do within the Edinburgh community.
My name is Judith, and my role here at Destiny Church is that I run Destiny Angels, and then I oversee the other things that we do out in the community as well, meeting practical needs. So Destiny Angels, in its purest and its simplest form, is a community helpline that provides practical, emotional and spiritual support when it's wanted as well. So we do things like we've got decorating service or home improvement service. So for people that are in situations where they're facing maybe issues relating to homelessness, either they've just moved into a tenancy after being homeless, and the tenancy they move into is in a terrible state, or it might have been that they've gone through a period of perhaps mental health difficulties and so they've let the property standard fall, or it might have been physical illness, family crisis, or just often it's just sometimes people just don't have enough money. They move into a property, they don't have the finances, and they're left in a house that doesn't feel like home and they don't feel settled there, and it starts to really get them down. So Destiny Angels, we provide support to get alongside them, and together with them we get a room in their house ready, so often a living room or a bedroom, and just decorate it and do DIY jobs so that house can become a home. And people have reported from that it actually helps them settle in, and it can have a really positive impact on their mental health, because if the house that you live in is really grim and rubbish and you don't feel at home there, it can really start to affect you. A lot of people that come to us for help are incredibly isolated, and there's not that many people around them. The people in their lives might be brilliant support workers or social workers, but it's not the same as having people that are just friends. And whilst volunteers are there for the short term, it's people that are choosing to be there and being there for free and being there because they want to. And often they have great time with each other, and that can often give people the confidence to go on and connect with other organisations and volunteers somewhere and start building and making new friends. So we've seen that the home improvements projects with the decorating and DIY has had a long-term impact on people, even though it's quite short-term support. So that's one area of Destiny Angels. Destiny Angels also provides food support, so crisis food support for people that either for some reason they might have just lost a job, they're waiting for benefits to come in, or benefits have been messed up for a reason, or they might not have access to benefits for something, or, you know, like we all get caught, sometimes a bill comes in and there's just not enough money to be able to afford food as well. So we've got crisis food parcels here to release to individuals and families that will just get them through that hard period. And again, it means that they can then get on with life, that they don't have to get loans and then end up being in debt, but they can rely on those in the short term. And this last year we heard a story of a guy who he never really took care of himself. He didn't take care of his personal care. He never really bothered to wash because he didn't. Often it's because people don't think they're worth it. And apparently that one Christmas hamper he got a gift of shower gel in it. And since then he's just taken care of himself. So whilst that's a really small thing, that's actually got a massive life impact on him, because I'm sure it has knock-on effects. And then alongside all of that, Destiny Angels is just great because it provides a safe place for a bit of emotional support. So when people ring, or when we ring them, there's somebody at the end of the phone that will listen to them, and they can just pour their hearts out over the phone if they like. And people have said it's just knowing somebody's there makes such a difference. And when I volunteer years ago, again, that emotional support, somebody to connect with, somebody to talk to, somebody just to share their burdens with, again, helps lift the load and helps them move forward. So we've seen really positive impacts through that. And yeah. So Destiny Angels is the community helpline, and then what Destiny Angels does is we work with other organisations in the community, so whether they're other Christian organisations or whether they're non-Christian or secular organisations, we work alongside them. But we've also got in church other organisations, mini organisations themselves. So we've got 2 street teams that work with the homeless, that go out and connect with people that are begging on the street. So they'll be facing all sorts of different issues. And then Destiny Angels and those teams interact. So it might be that they meet somebody, they need a food parcel, or they meet somebody, actually they have just moved into a house, but financially they're struggling. So we work closely with the homeless through that, and then through Angels, through other organisations, we're connecting with people that have just moved on from homelessness as well. And then the other things we do, we've got English classes, free English classes for people that are struggling with language and as a result often isolation. So that's a place for them to come and learn, but also build relationships. We've got parent and toddler groups. We've got Celebrate Recovery, which is a 12-step programme. Yeah, there's lots going on, and we all work together to see people move on in life.
We reached out to other individuals within the Edinburgh community to share their views and experiences on social issues affecting their community.
I came to Edinburgh 14 years ago, and I worked for the first 5 years full-time in an architect's office. Myself and my wife kicked off a small Bible study in our flat at Haymarket, and that Bible study grew arms and legs. It grew from our flat. We moved into a local primary school at Tollcross, and it became a church, and went from being a small gathering of friends in our living room to being a church that had 50 people in it in Tollcross Primary School. In 2003 we took a big step. I left my career in architecture and I gave myself full time to the church, and we bought our first building down in Leith, and it's an old cinema down near the foot of Leith Walk. And then from there, the church just grew. We grew to several hundred people down there. We had 3 services. And in 2008, we took another big step where we bought a second building, an old cinema here in Gorgie. And now, as a church, we run 4 services. There's hundreds of people coming, maybe 600-700 people coming. And we meet both in Leith and in Gorgie. So that's on the surface, that's what the church is about. I guess at the core of who we are, we believe in the message of the Bible, the message that there's a God in heaven who loves people, and in his love he did something for the world. Jesus came, and we believe that he came to save us, but he also came to inspire us and motivate us. We believe that the message of the Bible isn't just a spiritual message about helping people find their way to heaven. I believe it is that, but I believe it's also more than that. I believe it also has hugely practical implications. So as a result of that message of God's love for the world, we believe it stirs in us a sense of responsibility for our city. So as a result, we're dedicated to doing everything we can to meet the needs of people in practical ways in our city as well. Whatever their creed, whatever their backgrounds, we're committed to helping them. And as a result, we've got a number of projects and initiatives that we've got going. We have a number of initiatives operating from our 2 centres into the city. One of them is called Destiny Angels, which is a helpline that people in the city can phone up, and then we mobilise volunteers to go and meet the needs practically. That looks different in every situation. Sometimes we deliver food, sometimes we help decorate someone's house because they're physically or mentally incapable of doing it. We work closely with the other agencies, the council, social work, and different charities and support groups in the city to help meet the needs. And we often get referrals from them to step in and help meet needs practically. And we all operate by volunteers, so lots of people in our church, hundreds of people actually, give their time to help serve in our city and our community. So Destiny Angels is one of the things we do. We've got 3 or 4 teams that go out weekly working with the homeless in the streets, providing food and friendship. If people are struggling with drug addiction and they come to the point where they want to come off drugs, we work with them on the detox process. Sometimes in extreme cases we've put people on a 24/7 rota where we've got someone with the person all the time throughout the detox process as they're going cold turkey. We've also provided a free counselling service. We pay a staff member, Roddy, he's our professional psychotherapist on staff, and his services are available for some of the most vulnerable people who are coming along and carrying all sorts of issues that they need to unravel. And that's a service that's offered for free as well. And beyond that, we also feel a sense of responsibility for Need Beyonds Edinburgh. So we do a lot to work with different organisations in Africa and also in India. We're currently in the process of raising funds to build an orphanage in India. I guess the question would be, what is the most important thing we can do to help people in our city in some of the greatest areas? From a Christian perspective, here's what I believe on that. I believe that the main problem isn't what's going on around us. I believe the main problem is what's going on inside us. And for true change to take place, you can change people's environment. You can take someone with drug problems out of a neighbourhood where there's drugs. You can change people's environment, but ultimately the only lasting solutions come when we change the internal environment. And so that's a journey people are on. I guess it's helping people to have different perspective, people to have hope, people to deal with past hurts and things that are causing what is it that's causing the inner pain that's resulting in the behaviour. So that's where I think the Christian message can blend very well with practical offer of help and support that we do. So I believe that's the core of the issue. The heart of the matter is the matter of the heart, and we want to work with people, and we do that in spiritual ways as well. We pray for people, we tell them the message about God's love. At the end of the day, people have to decide what they believe in these things, but we have seen dramatic results happen when someone not only gets practical help and support dealing with the physical issues they're facing, whether it be helping with their housing or getting food on their table, but we've seen great advancement in that person's life when they've also dealt with their spiritual issues and they come to a place of having faith themselves. Now, just to be clear, we work with people whether they have faith or not. We work with people whether they agree with our faith or not. It's no strings attached, but we just know that lasting change comes when a connection with God is made along with the practical help on the outside. The other thing we do run is 12-step recovery programs. We run it from both our Gorgie and Leith Centre. And it's interesting, in most 12-step recovery programs, they also acknowledge the importance of a faith. Step 2 in the 12-step recovery, in most 12-step programs, is step 2 is we acknowledge the need for a higher power, someone outside of ourselves to help us. And so it's interesting, the 12-step recovery programs are very effective, and they involve faith in God as part of their big process to recovery. So that's who we are. I have hope for this city. I'm pretty upset by the situation I see around us and the challenges we see, but I have massive hope, and that fuels what I do. And we've got a long-term commitment to this city and to do everything we can to make a difference in our generation.
To respect our interviewees' privacy, we have blurred their images.
I moved here 16 years ago.
Yes.
And it's such a community. It's a great multicultural community, but you still feel isolated because you maybe only see somebody once or twice and you only say hello. There's not a real close community feeling that, you know, it's friendly, but you don't make friends really, you feel isolated. And I started to, because I wanted to go out, and I was missing company when I moved here, and I started to go to the pub, just to socialise or just to be amongst people in a nice, happy environment and everything.
Yes.
And when I'd start to go once every fortnight, because I didn't have the money to go every week. I wasn't a big drinker anyway.
Yeah.
And then I would maybe have 3 or 4 pints and reach a stage where I would have a laugh with the friends that I'd made and feel relaxed, and then come home quite happy.
Yes.
And then maybe the next again fortnight I would find that what I didn't quite feel after 3 or 4 pints, that I wasn't getting the same feeling that I had the last time.
Okay.
So I would go and get another pint, and so on and so forth, and within a few weeks I found that I was drinking far more than I should to try and reach this level that I felt really good.
Okay.
But I got to the point where I wasn't feeling good about it.
Okay.
And also the fact, because I was drinking so much, I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Because I was unemployed and I didn't really have the money. So what I did then was that I started just buying the cheap bottles of cider out of a local shop and getting drunk on that, but not getting anything out of it, just getting drunk. And I knew I had a problem, a drink problem.
Yeah.
But I felt at that time that I couldn't reach out to anybody, because I do suffer from paranoid schizophrenia.
Yes.
I'll just let that go. Paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And I obviously felt that if I was to try and talk to them, they might think that I was a pest, and that I was wasting their time. Oh, he's just another alcoholic, or you know, I had that perception. You know, that's what I felt like.
Yes.
And I think I was my own worst enemy there. I should have sort of tried, but because of my paranoia, I thought I'll be rejected or I'll be pushed to the side. And I started drinking more, and it was a case of drinking just to get drunk, because I wasn't getting anything, a buzz out of it or anything like that. It was getting drunk and crashing out on my sofa, and then waking me up the next second day about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything fell apart for me. I knew it in myself. I used to be in the army where, you know, discipline, your personal discipline, your looking after yourself, looking after your house, everything. All my personal hygiene went right out the window. The house was a complete and utter disgrace, because I got to the point where I couldn't really care. After my friend, we got into it, and he noticed the state of me and also the state of the house, and he knew just how bad it was, that I myself realised then when he pointed it out to me. He says, "Bruce, he says, this is not like you, this is, look what's happening here." And he got in touch with a support worker, a project worker I should say. She got me into temporary accommodation, got in touch with Destiny Angels, who a Christian group who help people who are in vulnerable situations to help to decorate. And it was fantastic, the amount of people giving up their spare time, their precious time, you know, that they could be spending with their families, and they're doing it for me.
Get some tissues. Take your time.
And everybody that came up, they were coming up in 2s and 3s, and one day there was 4, and it was quite it was like a culture shock. All of a sudden I had all these people in my house, and for a long time I didn't have any visitors or anything, but these people were helping me, and they were so happy talking and joking with each other and myself. And excuse me, it was just absolutely wonderful feeling, and I could see the house taking shape. So I was in a really hopeless, dire situation. I didn't have suicidal thoughts, I have to stress, but I was at the point where I thought, oh, to hell, you know, if it happens, it happens, if I go, I go. And looking back, that was a terrible time. And but because of the way that I think now, and all of the friends that I've made now that I'm out in the community, and you know, but just like everybody else, we have our off days, but you know, there's a difference between having an off day, you know, and you know, having a really, really bad time.
Okay, do you mind sharing your story that led you into drinking?
No, I don't. I don't mind this. I don't mind sharing anything. It's if it would help other people, you know.
Yeah.
I never would do that. But I've got help then. I got the help I got was that push. I never had that before. I got the help. People was helping me, and that's basically what it is. You need a help. Everybody needs a help, you know. That's the way it is. You need a help.
And you were saying you had been drinking for like 30 years?
30 years, yes.
And drinking is
man and boy.
Yes.
And it's a long time for anybody to, you know, how I'm here today, I'm not dead, it's a miracle, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the main thing, that's the main thing. But I realised that my health was getting bad, and that's why I had no choice but to come off it, you know. I had no choice. But I enjoyed the drinking, and I still do to this day, but I've got to fight it, I've got to fight it. And it can be done, it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done fine. But,
were you drinking like a whiskey a day, or was it?
But with a litre bottle of whiskey a day, and maybe 4 or 5 cans of Carlsberg Specials as well, you know.
Okay.
That was at my worst.
Okay.
And yes, that was at my worst. I was drinking every day. I had alcohol in my body for the last 30 years.
Okay. And what assistance did you get while you were, you know, drinking? And what situation had you gone in? Did it affect your health or anything?
Oh, it affected my health. I went right down the hole.
Okay.
I was here. I was for the last 10 years. I've been alone here, sitting here myself, drinking.
Okay.
And that really gets you down. That's really bad, you know. And you think you're alone, you really do. You think you're nobody else out there like you.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out there, and that's what it was. I was very isolationist and really down. I was really down. Thinking here. Oh
yes. And what assistance did you get while you were going through?
Well, I got help with the ART, that Alcohol Referral Trust, I think it's a trust anyway. Elaine helped me. And she gave me the kick up the backside I needed, you know, to help, you know, really, you know. And it's things like that, like charities and the Destiny Angels helped me with my house and get my house a bit better, you know.
Okay.
My house up, and that got me back on the thinking again, try to turn things around, you know, and that's not bad, that, surely, you know, kind of, and but I'm still on the anti-abuse and that yet. I still take anti-abuse every day, just to show that I'm not a relapse, you know.
Okay.
But, yes.
So do you feel you're in a better situation now?
Well, I'm definitely. It's like getting a new life. It is. It feels. I can think my own thoughts now, and I care about things nowadays. I didn't care before, you know. I just didn't care. I didn't care, it's like getting out of prison, right? It's getting out of prison, and you hadn't be. It's like going into another world, you know. You're free. You're free. I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm free. Well, chained. It was like chained to this house, and chained to the alcohol, and chained to everything, you know. And I don't want to go back to that again. Never.
Yeah. And for those who are listening to your story or watching you sharing your story, what do you think? What advice can you give to them?
There's always hope. There's always hope out there. There's always hope. Get as much help as you can, because you can't do it alone. You never do it alone. You get the help from the charities and everywhere. Just take it with both hands, because you'll never do it alone. But you can do it, and you're going to really do it.
For more information on how you can get help, or if you want to donate, sponsor or support Destiny Angels Edinburgh, please contact us on the information provided. Thank you for watching, and for more information on what Firebrand Movement does, please visit our Facebook page.